Hi everybody, thanks for checking out my review for this IQ wireless router. I picked this thing up because I have been having internet problems since I moved here basically, and it's been really aggravating. I bought this really nice router. I went for the big bad one and rated at 1200 megabits a second. I only pay for 100, but I'm getting between 6 and 30 on a good day. And I even tried a different router. I tried this one here, and it didn't work. So then I spent about 3 hours on the phone with with the customer service for this, and they're great. They went through and tried to help me configure it. Still no luck. So I actually called Time Warner, which is my cable provider out here, had them come out to the house on 2 separate occasions and check things out. And they said there's a lot of noise, and they said they would fix it, and they did some stuff, and it didn't really work. So I'm really frustrated because basically, I mean, I only use this for streaming and for school stuff, so I don't use it all that often, but my kids use it for Netflix and stuff like that, so we really need to have a decent internet connection. So the idea of an adaptive router was pretty appealing to me. I haven't seen that before in any other router, and your internet connection really does fluctuate. I'm sure you can tell on your own internet connection at home that sometimes it runs better than others. So something that will change as my network changes, I think is really cool. Now, let's go ahead and put this thing to the test and see what it actually does. So the very first thing that you're going to do is, before you even buy this router, is make sure that it will help. And I think it's pretty cool because they do know that it's not going to help on every single network. It's only going to help on networks with high latency or high lag time. They have this thing where you can actually check, and this is their website. It's evenroute.com/IQ test. That's where I'm at right now. So you can run the IQ test. It's actually powered, it says, by broadbandreports.com. So this is not their own test here. It's just kind of reskinned on their own website. So anyway, I have a cable. Oh, sorry. Make sure that you're hardwired in. So you see this yellow wire? I did yellow so you can see it. It's hardwired into the router. So the modem's going into the router. The router is connected right into my computer. So that way we completely eliminate the wireless aspect of this router, and we're just testing our cable line. So what we're going to do is run cable, and now it's testing. It's going to take just a second, and when it comes back, I will show you the results. All right, so I get an internet quality of C, which is just awesome, right? C's get degrees, but it doesn't help it doesn't help in the internet here. So what I want to do is I want to click here to see the detailed results. So right down here. So basically what they say is if you have a C or below, that they can get you to an A or an A plus. So I'm going to, you can see that it's 50, which is decent download for what I have, but not decent for what I'm paying for. And 10 as an upload. The important part is actually down here. So there's more to your internet speed than just the actual speed profile, or how much the upload and the download speed. So there's all of these extra features or extra components here, and it's really cool. You can do their up here, it will actually tell you the FAQs, I think it is. Will explain what each of these different parameters mean. But basically for what I care about, all I care about is it's rated a C. Let's see if it gets to an A. But for the purposes of this review, to make it a little more thorough, I'm going to actually copy down these information. Or this information here. So this is the run information. Let me show. So what I want to see is the buffer bloat right here. There it is. So this is the buffer bloat. And you can see that on idle, it is 2237 milliseconds, 41 milliseconds on download, and 72 milliseconds on upload. So the buffer bloat is the lag. Or the latency. You might hear it called all of those things. So I want to see that those come down. I want to see that my network connection in general goes up. So let me copy those numbers down. All right, so basically all I did is I just drug a picture or a movie into my Google Drive. It says it's got 24 minutes left. You can see it is uploading. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to run this test again, this time while it's uploading. So I'm going to go back to IQ test, We're going to test now. Cable. And we're going to see. So basically what I want to do is I want to put more strain on my network here. So this might take a minute, so I'm going to pause and I'll be right back with you. All right, so now I have an internet quality score of C. Let's go ahead and take a look at the detailed and kind of see where we're at. So we actually did get a faster download speed, 89 versus 50, slower upload speed because it was already using some to upload probably, and a ton of buffer bloat. Look at this. So while we're uploading, we have this is 594, which is lower, but look at 776 versus the previous one, which was 41. And then upload. So you can see that putting a load on it, and again, this is best case scenario. This is hardwired in to the router, so it's bypassing the drop that you naturally get with any wireless system. So you can see just adding an upload really kind of killed my internet here. So let's go ahead and get this IQ router plugged in and check this thing. All right, so this is the router here. Basically, all you do, it comes with 3 antennas. You just screw one of these antennas on like this. Well, you screw all 3 of them on like that. That gives you your wireless signal. This blue one is for your internet, and this is any of the Ethernet. So basically, I'm just going to do like I did with the other one. I'm going to plug the Ethernet in here. I'm going to plug the internet into there. And we're going to push the on button. I'm going to let this thing boot and connect, and then I'll be right back with you. All right, so I have everything plugged in just like I showed you. It is connected to the internet down here. You can see that I do have internet access. So now I'm going to configure the router. So you can do this wirelessly. Just because I'm testing, I have it plugged in. I'll show you how to do it wired. Basically, you just go to iqrouter.menu. And if you're doing it wirelessly, just connect to the IQ router wireless network before you change it. It will be it'll say IQ wireless. So and then the ID and password are both change me. Easy enough, right? So that's if you're connecting wireless. So let's go ahead, and it says to continue. So this is going to, I have to read the terms and conditions. That's how I read the terms and conditions on everything, which is why I can get myself into trouble. You might want to do better than that. All right. Let's go ahead and run through this connection together. Any of these active Wi-Fi networks yours? It looks like there are no active Wi-Fi networks that are mine because my wireless router is unplugged over there. So I'm going to hit continue. Oh. I have to read. No, it was turned off. So that's where you go. Now you can hit continue. We're going to set the local time, which I'll do that here. I'll do that in a second. I'm going to show you so you guys don't have to watch all of this. Let me pause it. I'll be back with you. All right, so I did America, Los Angeles, click to set, setting the time. Now we continue. It looks like that's it. That's a pretty darn easy setup. Holy cow, that's really easy. It looks like there's a few more setups, a few more steps in here. Basically, we're just going to need to turn on the wireless ID and password and set all of that. So I'll go through that with you for after this continues. What type do you have? I do not have DSL. I use modem. Cable modem, so I'm going to hit other. I'm going to do cable / carbon fiber. I wish it was carbon fiber optic, not carbon fiber. I'm a car guy. That's just what's on my brain right now. All right, so I'm going to pause again and let this do its thing. Sorry, this is going to be kind of jumpy, but I don't want to waste a ton of time just letting this thing load and do its thing. I just want to show you the steps so you know exactly how I'm configuring this. All right, and it says that I am online, so I'm going to hit continue. Now we're going to start optimization, it looks like. So I'm going to let it optimize, and again, be right back with you. All right, so it made it through. It says that it has now gotten us to an A plus, so that's pretty good. So the next steps are to set the password, register the router, and configure the wireless setup. So let's go ahead and do that together. Obviously, I'm not going to show you my password, so this is where you input your password, and I'll be back with you. All right, so it had me do the password and then enter a security question. I didn't want you guys to see either of those, obviously, so I just did that. Now you can register the email to keep up with software updates. This is actually really important because really good tech companies will update their firmware. I updated the firmware like 30 times on this as they were trying to get some of the bugs worked out, but I had to constantly be checking to see if they had an updated firmware. So it's really nice that you can register and they'll just let you know when they need to update it. So I'm going to register and again, be right back with you. All right, so I am registered. Let's go ahead and click continue. And so this is where you're going to enter your Wi-Fi name and your password. And this is, you can type in whatever you want on this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause it again so you guys don't see that information either. Sorry, this is a lot of personal information. I'm trying to show you as much as I can without letting you guys all into my network. But you can see this is an extremely easy configuration. Literally, like I didn't have to do anything but just type in a couple passwords and a name. Like really, really easy. So let me finish this and let's get this thing tested. All right, so I just used the exact same wireless password and username as I did before. Internet name and wireless password as I did before. That way I don't have to reprogram any of my devices that were connected to my old network because it's going to see it as the same. So let's see. And that's good. So this actually checks to make sure that there's no conflicts at the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz stations there. So no conflicts, that's good. Because I don't know if you guys know, this is applying the configuration. I just want to talk a little bit about how the wireless systems work. Everything pretty wireless used to run on 2.4. So even like remote control cars, all of that runs on the 2.4 network. So it gets pretty congested. So the advantage of having a dual band is you can switch over to the 5G where it's not as congested. They have more channels. If you want to use the 2.4, because 2.4 actually has a longer distance, so if you have to go through a lot of walls, it's a better option for you. But if you want to use that, you have to actually make sure you're on a network that's not, or on a channel that's not congested. With that router, it involved downloading an extra bit of software and checking out my entire network in my neighborhood, finding a channel that wasn't as congested, and then changing the settings in there. It was a nightmare. This just did it all by itself, so that's pretty awesome. All right. We're going to continue, and then it's going to ask us to log on, so I'm going to do that. All right, so we're all done, and it says that the optimization is scheduled to end on 2018-7. So it's going to take, it wants about a week to try to optimize. So it's going to be saying, it says the first few days it uses, it runs assessment tests, and then the rest of the time it's actually making adjustments and retesting. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't run a whole lot better instantly. So let's go ahead, and I think we're done with that. All right, everybody. So we are back now with the IQ router. This has been about 2 weeks, mostly because I was just too busy to come back a week ago and finish this video up. But they say to give it a week on the IQ router so it can get to know your network and actually make the adjustments. The next day, after I first installed this, I was running these speed tests and I was getting D's and C's. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to give it a little bit more time. And lo and behold, I get an email from the wonderful people at IQ Router saying, hey, we noticed that the speed tests you were running weren't up to our standards. Can we get some more information? And basically, they just wanted to know, what internet speed am I paying for, and all of this. Just basic, simple stuff, nothing personal. And it turned out that my internet service provider was using an overproportioning system where they actually flood the network with speed and then back it off. So it would jump up to like 144 and then back down to 100-ish, which is what I pay for. So they made one little adjustment, and the same day I was getting A's. I did want to give it enough time to actually make sure that it was adjusted correctly. Before I run these tests, guys, I want to tell you this thing is amazing. I have never been so impressed with my internet. Streaming is beautiful. Downloads are consistent. And I'll put more details in the write-up, but I really love the consistency of this router. It doesn't matter whether I have one device or whether I have 10 devices attached to it. I'm still getting the same performance consistently out of this. So really, really amazing. Let's go ahead and see if the tests support all of my glowing reviews right now. So we're going to go ahead and test again. Again, this is hardwired in, same exact cable as I was using before. Let's go ahead and hit cable. We're going to let this thing run. While it's running, I just want to remind you that the test that I got before, that I did before, I was getting a download speed. This is unloaded. So I was getting a download speed of about 50, an upload speed of about 10.6. And I'll write all of these up. I'll make you a nice graph so you can see the comparison. Latency was horrific. At idle, I was getting 2200 milliseconds. So let's go ahead and see what this is at. It should be finishing up here. I do also want to mention, I'll show you here in a second when this finishes, the numbers that I was going off of were the highest numbers, or the sample numbers. It's not necessarily the most accurate as far as assessing your own network. All I really wanted to do was assess the difference that this IQ router made. So obviously I'm going to use the highest numbers, and I'll use the same here. So looks like now, we went from a C to an A, which is awesome, but let's go ahead and get some more details. So we have a upload speed of 75.9 versus the upload speed of 50 on the other router, download speed. Up on the other router is 10.65, it's 10.59, not huge. Let's take a look here at the idle. So the number that I went off of before was this one, the sample, which on the other router, can you guys see that? Might be a little hard for you to see. Sorry. Like I said, I'll write these up. On the other router, the sample, or the highest number, was 2237. On this 19. That is 19 milliseconds. And this is giving the minimum. This bar graph down here. This is more accurate. This is what I was talking about. This is probably more accurate because it's giving you the average versus the worst. So on the latency here on the download, the average is 18 seconds. The sample is 26 seconds, whereas on my other one, the sample was 41 seconds. And then uploading 19 versus the uploading of, I actually have to go back and look at that because I think 41 seconds, I believe is what I had the last time, but I'll double check on my video because my handwriting's terrible on my little paper here. So 23 seconds is the sample on that. So huge improvements. I'll do the math so you can see the percentage improvements here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead now. I'm going to run the loaded test like I did last time. I'm going to start the same exact upload to my Google Drive, and we'll run this test again. So I'll be back with you in a second. All right, so I just started uploading, and it's actually uploading a whole lot faster. So let's see if we can run this test before I finish that upload. So we're going to go evenroute.com/IQ test. Again, we're going to run this exact same test. Let's see how we do under loaded conditions. Under the loaded conditions, the upload speed, or the download speed, was 85.9 before. We did get a little better download speed. A lot of that just has to do with inconsistency of the network. The upload speed was 4.96. And then we'll go over the latencies here in a second when it comes through. Well, that's one of the things that I was really impressed with this IQ router, is it is consistent. Pretty much every time I've run these tests, I've been getting almost the exact same network, which is awesome because you don't have these periods of really great internet and really terrible internet. And I was really impressed with how well it handles it during the high period times, the high usage times, where all my neighbors are on, the nights and the weekends. So again, we got an A. Let's check out some details here. 79.1. So again, the upload speed is a little better, or download speed is a little better. 5.04 is the upload speed versus 4.96. So a little bit better upload and download speed. This part really isn't all that important, honestly, because the whole internet performance isn't really based on this. And they explain a lot of that on their website. It's a really good resource so you kind of understand why you may actually even see a drop in the download speed, but you're still going to see an increase in the performance. So let's take a look here. The sample is 20 milliseconds for idle latency, and 14 milliseconds is the minimum. So the idle latency when it was loaded previously was 594. That was the idle latency when we were doing our tests on the other router. 51 milliseconds is the sample for downloading versus 776 previously. And 20 milliseconds versus 63 milliseconds on the latency for the update or uploading. There we go. So you can see drastic improvements in the latency and the buffer bloat versus the old router. This is incredible difference here. So I think you guys are going to be really happy with this router. I actually just called my dad probably an hour ago and told him he needed to pick one of these up because he has DSL. He's in a small town where there's really only one ISP, and it's impossible to use his internet. It's just horrific. So I just told him about this router. He's going to pick one up. That I think hopefully tells you how much I like this router. If I recommend it to family, then that means that I am definitely going to recommend it to you guys. So I give this thing a solid 5 stars. Stay tuned. I'm going to do all the math. I'll show you the actual numbers and improvements so you don't have to pay attention to all of the stuff I was saying, and I'll upload that as a picture as well. So anyway, again, amazing customer service, amazing router, amazing improvements in my internet. I mean, it is just a world of a difference when it comes to streaming. So I think you guys are going to be thrilled with this. Make sure you do the speed test before you buy it. Mostly so you can tell if it's going to help you. If you already have an internet score of A or B, it may not help you all that much. If you have a C or below, you'll definitely notice some huge improvements here. So again, 5 stars. Pick this thing up. Worth every single penny.